What does it mean to leave a leadership legacy anyways? Why is it important? Who cares about the legacy that you leave? Today, we're going to talk about 3 reasons why you should care and 3 reasons how to do it. Stick with us. Hey everyone, John here. 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 Welcome to the Leaders Leading Leaders podcast. Hey everyone, John here. Welcome to the Leaders Leading Leaders podcast. Today we're going to talk about why it's important to leave a leadership legacy. Many of you listening out there may be scratching your heads and asking me, why do I care about the legacy that I leave? I'm young in my career. I got a long time to build my legacy. We're going to talk about in this episode why building your legacy starts today. First, I want to start by welcoming all of our new listeners out there to the Go Be Great community. I appreciate you tuning in. If this is your first time, thank you. Thank you very much for investing in yourself. If you find this content valuable, do me a favor. Click on that subscribe button or share it with somebody that you feel needs to start building their legacy today. For those continued listeners, today we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, and that's the legacy that we start building today that will continue on until whatever it may be that we finish doing. Let's frame the discussion a little bit today around the word legacy. What does it mean? What's legacy look like? It doesn't mean that it's at the end of your life. You can leave a legacy in the job that you're working right now. And maybe you've been there 6 months. Maybe you've been there a year. You can leave a legacy in a group, a board, a committee that you are a part of right now. And it ends and you go on and everybody goes their own separate ways. You can leave a legacy at the end of a career. And we all leave a legacy when our time runs up on this earth. So today we're going to talk about all of it, everything that has to do with a legacy. And one of the reasons why this is so timely, it's the end of the year, it's December. What do people do when they get to the end of the year and the time is up or the clock is done or they want to go do something else besides waking up to an alarm clock every day? They retire. I attended a retirement ceremony 2 days ago, and it got me thinking as I was sitting there watching all the awards that this individual had won, all the important projects, all the people that were on the Zoom. This was an in-person session, all the family that had come from out of town to be at this ceremony. It was moving. I'm not going to lie. This was an end to their career, and we were celebrating. They were moving on to a new chapter. But the moving part was when his sons got up and talked about how he stepped away from his career for a couple years to help them pursue their dreams, and then came back into the workforce. How his sister stepped up and talked about the role model that he was to her. And of course, his parents were there. And you could just see how proud they were of their son. And I was soaking it all in, and I was just in awe of the fact that this individual had relatively short career, the current position with the current company, 21 years. He had worked for some other companies prior to and is going to continue doing what he loves to do now. And it got me thinking, what am I doing today that will impact my retirement ceremony? What will people say about me? Will people even show up? And that question, it kind of sat with me for a couple days. So as I was journaling this morning and I was deciding, what's important? What are the things that I want to talk to you all out there in the Go Be Great community about? And I settled on 3 things that I feel are important when it comes to your legacy. Specifically, the legacy that you will leave, again, when whatever time is up that you're doing and you decide to go do something else. And that's my first point here, is don't think of the end in mind when you are trying to leave a legacy. Because who knows when the end will come? Only you will know when enough's enough. Only you can say, it's time to move on. But if we begin with the end in mind and we try to work backwards, by the time we get there, it's too late. It's too late. Because one thing that moved me as I was listening to person after person either unmute from the Zoom world or stand up in front of a group of audience, and some of these folks, it was evident that they were very nervous. They didn't like standing in front of a group of people, but they did it to pay tribute to this individual. And that in and of itself was the most moving thing that I saw, that I took away, is that people who were fearful of public speaking stood up, faced their fears, because the individual had left a legacy, left an impact on them that they felt necessary to pay tribute and to thank them. Who doesn't want that? So thinking of the end in mind isn't going to get us to the legacy that I want to leave. Thinking of the end in mind isn't going to get us going, because we never know when the end might be here. When that time ends and when you decide to walk away and enough's enough, it's time to go do something else, what are they going to say about you? Because if you think that you have all this time to leave a legacy with the end in mind, by then it's too late. So the first thing I want to get across is, don't have the end in mind when you're trying to build the legacy. Show up every single day and do the things that you need to do to leave the legacy that you want to leave whenever that time is up. I want to take a short break to share some exciting news with you. I'm going to be hosting a live event. We're going to talk about the 5 strategies to building a high-performance team. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, you're looking to scale your business, you started out as a solopreneur, as 1 or 2 people, and now you have systems and processes in place, and you have to grow your business. We only have a certain amount of time as individuals. We can expand that time exponentially through teams. So it's important to understand how to build teams, how to sustain teams, how to train teams. And we're going to talk about that. If you've been in a situation where you've inherited a team, maybe you're a new leader to the organization, or maybe you're a new business owner, you're going to want to sign up and not miss it. We'll have a short presentation, and then I'll open it up for questions and answers. I'm excited for you to join us. Head on over to thejohnespinosa.com and get registered. Now back to the show. The second one, I believe that this is something that has helped me grow throughout my life, personal, professional, as a parent, as a husband, as a father. And it is living every day to get 1% better. Just 1%. Some days are good days and I get 2%. But all days, I at least get 1%. Now think about that. Let's compound that, because 1% doesn't seem like a lot when you talk about in a 24-hour period. But multiply that by a week. Now from Monday to Monday, I got 7% better. That's pretty close to 10. The first of the month to the second of the month, possibly 30% better if that month has 30 days. A year, I have gotten 365% better by getting 1% better a day than I was a year ago. And this year, I can honestly say that I am light years ahead of where I was a year ago. And it's because I focused on just 1%. And that, I promise you, will leave a legacy that you want to leave. because you are continuing to grow. Percent can look different for you than it does me. It could even look different from day to day. If you're going through a tough, challenging time, that 1% could be just staying positive for 24 hours. If you're studying for a final exam or a certification, that 1% could be just studying or rehashing 5 pages of your book every single day. If you're building a business, that 1% could be dedicating just a little extra every single day to your business. If you have a team, that 1% could be pouring into your team or telling somebody thank you for the job that they have done every single day. It doesn't take a lot to get to 1%, but when we look back and add up all those 1%, it makes a tremendous difference to the legacy that we want to leave. So the second one is live every day to get 1% better. And the third one, these aren't in any particular order. The third one is reflect and then sustain. So it's important for us to take a pause every once in a while and reflect back to make sure that we're on the right track. Because even myself, I've caught getting off track. I always tell people that parenting is like bowling with bumper rails. So if anybody out there is bowled before or gone to like a kid's birthday party, a lot of times they'll put up your bumper rails. So bowling, you got a bowling ball, you roll it down, and the objective of bowling is to knock as many pins down at the end of the bowling alley, at the end of the lane, as you possibly can. Well, there's gutters. So what happens? Your ball goes too close to the gutter and boom, it slides in the gutter and you don't get any pins. No chance whatsoever. So they put up these guardrails to keep you from going into the gutters. And that's what parenting is like. But the guardrails, if your ball goes close to one of those guardrails and it hits the guardrails, what does it do? It bumps it back and it starts going center and man, you're on track. So you're reflecting back, you're back on track. Well, guess what? Something happens. We have a bad day. You start leaning to the right. That's what reflection is to me. You have to reflect back. It's that guardrail that will take you back to center. And you may go down center for, who knows, a couple weeks. And guess what? You start veering off to the left. So that's why it's important for us to reflect, because we always want to stay true to our center. We want to spend as much time as we possibly can there, because that allows us leeway to the left and to the right. So if we have a bad day, we're not too close to that guardrail where we bump all the way back. That has helped me stay true to who I am, which if you can find your authentic self, and listen out there, I want everybody to just take a pause from whatever they're doing and listen to this. I became a better version of myself when I was able to find my authentic self. And that came from reflection. That's showing up no matter whether I'm at work, no matter whether I'm talking to you all out there at the Go Be Great community, or I'm in a coaching session, or a parent to my beautiful 3 children. If you stay true to your authentic self, you will stay in the center of that lane. And it's through that reflection. We're all going to get off course, but the more we can center ourselves, the less we're going to hit those 2 guardrails. So that's the reflect part of the legacy. And then the second part of that is reflect and sustain. So figure out if we are veering off, what do we need to get back into center, and then sustain that. Build upon that momentum. It goes back to that 1%. Just 1% every day. Don't try to do too much. Don't try to burn yourself out, because it's 1 step forward and 2 steps back. Have you been there? I have, where you feel like I've gotten 1 step, but now I'm 2 steps. So we're going backwards, is what that means. But if we sustain that 1%, now we see it exponentially increase where we want to go. So reflect on where you are and then sustain that momentum, sustain staying authentic, sustain rolling down that bowling alley till you get to the pins, and now you have a strike because you are dead center or a little off left, a little off right. I'm not a bowler, but I do know the closer you get to that center pin, the higher chance that you're going to knock all those pins down and get a strike. And that is a great feeling. So today, start building your legacy. Don't think of the end in mind. Get 1% better every single day and take a pause, stop and reflect, and then sustain that momentum. And I promise you, whenever you get to the end of whatever you're doing, people will show up. And they will thank you for being who you were always meant to be. And that's all we can ask. I hope this helps somebody today. Go be great. I believe in you. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye. If you like what you're hearing, do us a favor. Click on that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up or leave a comment. That lets us know that what we are putting out benefits you. If you want additional information or resources or learn how to work with me, head on over to thejohnespinosa.com, because when we become better versions of ourselves, it helps us get others to where they're going. Go be great.